to see that fourth spot come up in the fifth?
Yeah, any kind of spot come up in any inning. Obviously, we struggled to score runs this weekend, but we knew runs would be hard to come by against the UCLA staff in this ballpark. And commend my guys that, after that 2 went up for them in the fifth, that it was a little devastating. It was a little shock and awe and a little doubt, and for us to answer back twice today and figure out a way to get it done and at least salvage one win, I think is significant. It certainly separates us a little bit from these guys. It could have been a lot worse, and we feel good about the win.
George, you stuck with Jake in that fifth when we got the 2. Thoughts on him at the time? Or?
Yeah, I thought he was still strong, and his pitch count wasn't up, and he wasn't quite as good with location. He was a little elevated there, and I called the changeup on the first pitch to the kid that drove in their third run, and I didn't think that was it was a good, well-executed pitch, so I blame myself a little bit for that. And obviously, I was watching him pretty close because we had a real strong bullpen with Christian, Clav. Darryl Hunter didn't get the pitch this weekend, and of course Jimmy could have gone probably 2 or 3 too if we chose to. So I thought Jake at that point was still strong enough to keep him out there.
You talked about resiliency yesterday, and you're looking forward to see how resilient this team is. Can you talk to that a little bit?
Yeah, we'll see. Unfortunate thing, some of the bigger series is, I guess, on paper where I've challenged them, like the Vanderbilt, like the Fullerton, like this one. When we have, I guess, the importance of a series, not that we take any game lightly, we haven't been able to get it done. We've lost 2 out of 3, but then the good news is it could get a lot worse. We could have got swept. So the mentality of staying with it, and we got a lot of games left, and it wasn't an easy challenge today against Watson and the other guys they ran out there, and this park's kind of like that, and the last time I challenged them to a little part of our schedule, we started out 0-2 and finished 6-2. So hopefully they can repeat that effort with starting with Portland on Tuesday and then Stanford coming in here. If we can get those last 4 and end up 5-2, that would be a pretty good thing for that 7-game stretch that I was talking about. So we'll see. These guys always amaze me. They're not afraid to get up off the deck and do something about it. The way they respond to things is pretty spectacular.
George, after Graham grounded into that double play in the 4th, and then UCLA puts up the 2 in the 5th, did you sense some relief from the guys after Heineman gets that hit in the dugout? Yeah,
the shoulders went down, and I don't know if you noticed, but the at-bats got a little bit better, and we squared more balls up, and it's human nature that they're taking it upon themselves individually to kind of spark the team because they're great teammates and they're very unselfish, but then they get that monkey on their back, so to speak. It turns into a gorilla that the bat, try to swing harder and pitch a little more careful, and that's the tough thing about athletics and the good human nature that they have. They start to try too hard, and then when Heineman found that ball in the gap, you could just feel the whole dugout kind of relaxed a little bit, and the swagger came back. And if we could figure out a way to do that when things aren't going so well, that's the real gift.
Heineman a little out of character the last couple days maybe, but no surprise it was him in that situation the way he's been.
Yeah, he came up with some spots and was trying too hard. What I didn't like about Scotty this weekend is his defensive effort. We put him in center yesterday and didn't play that position extremely well, and he peaked up because of the guy hitting the ball on the ground and turned a single into a double. That was a little expensive, but I tell you what, we all know that Ryan Healy's the guy at this point that we want in the batter's box with guys on base, but I think a close second, Scott Heineman, and he wants to be that guy. That's the real key. We got some other guys that want to be that guy, but Scotty's didn't show up with the power, and we hit some balls late in the game that in some ballparks might have gone over a fence, but didn't even get to the warning track here. So I talked to Mr. Gilkenny about moving the fences in, so he said he's up for that. And I just have to tell him. So you guys want to stay here for 5-hour games? We can make them like 300-foot fences. I'm kidding about that.
Okay. George, you mentioned a little bit of the challenge. Their record is pretty phenomenal when they score early, when they get a lead at any point in the game. Challenge for your guys of coming back in that situation?
Well, we didn't do it off Bird. That's one of the reasons is Coach Savage has always been had a strong bullpen, and he matches up, and he knows which guys can get what kind of hitters out, and that's kind of been a personality of UCLA for a long time, even without David Berg. But the fact that, like I told Jimmy, as well as he pitched there in the ninth, that Berg beat him. He got 2 saves and Jimmy only got 1. So, and I had a little conversation with David. I said, I hope I don't see him pitch again today, and I see Jimmy pitch. So it all worked out good today. He's tough. He's really good, and there's a reason he was on Team USA. And the fact that we were able to crack through in the 5th instead of waiting until the 8th and 9th might have had something to do with that as well.
What is it about the Sunday performances of the team? They keep seeming to, I don't know what your record is, probably 8 out of 9 at this point. Sunday seems to be just a good day.
I don't know. I don't know what like most good programs, we take a lot of pride in finishing. Coach Rad talks about that in our weight training. Football uses fast, hard finish. We say start, sustain, finish. When we start the fall, and whether it's conditioning or weights or practice, we always talk about finishing. It doesn't hurt that we have Jimmy Sherfy, Garrett Clevenger, and Christian Jones either. That we've thrown up zeros the entire weekend in the 7th, 8th, and 9th, and we haven't been able to score runs in the 7th, 8th, and 9th, unfortunately.
Do you see Jimmy getting stronger as the season goes on? I think he leads the country in saves now. I don't know how accurate the scoreboard radar gun is, but
I'm almost afraid to answer questions like that. I bragged about our defense before the series, and we made more errors in this series. And Jimmy's, well, let's just take a chance. Jimmy's been spectacular, and the 2013 version of Jimmy is a lot more comforting than the 2012. He had a lot more strikeouts last year, but he had to because he'd hit a guy and walk a guy, and 3 ball counts. And I mean, that's a big league save guy right there that we just saw today, where he's pounding strike 1, strike 2, and the only balls he's throwing out of the zone is when he's intentionally throwing out of the zone. And you know, whatever it was today, I didn't look at the velocity, probably 96.
Yeah.
So with movement and a nasty slider. Somebody asked me earlier, is he going to be a legitimate pro? I don't know. That stuff's pretty electric, whether you're a college guy or a pro guy. I think the thing that'll scare the pro guys is he's not a very big by stature guy. And, you know, his mechanics aren't ideal perfect, but the best way to say it is, if I was a scout, I would draft him and get him in my organization, because if he just does what he does against wood bats, he's got a chance to pitch in the big leagues.
You know what you'll do Tuesday? Pitch.
We're going to start Cole Wiper and then probably staff it. Wiper's been coming along. He hasn't seen the mound for a long time, and I think he's ready to be the real thing that we thought he was going to be. So it'll be a closely watched start, I guess would be the best way to say it.
Gold just out for a while?
He had a little bit of a discomfort in his elbow, but he's fine now.